in the arid lands of Karbala on the 10th of Muharram in the year 680 C. A defining moment in Islamic history unfolded, an event that would forever echo through generations as the ultimate symbol of moral resistance, sacrifice, and unwavering faith. The roots of conflict. After the death of Prophet Muhammad in 632 CE, the Muslim community was left with the monumental task of leadership and governance. Over time, differing perspectives on spiritual and political authority led to the emergence of two major sects, Sunni and Shia Islam. The lineage of the Prophet, particularly through his daughter, Fatima, and Sunni-in-law, Ali ibn Abi Talib, held immense significance for many Muslims. Ali, the fourth caliph and first imam, according to Shia belief, faced numerous challenges during his leadership. After his assassination, his son Hassan ibn Ali briefly assumed leadership before making a peace treaty with Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, the first Umayyad caliph, under the condition that leadership would return to the Prophet's family after Muawiyah's death. However, upon Muawiyah's death in 680 CE, his son Yazid inherited the caliphate, breaking the treaty and igniting outrage among many, particularly those who believed in the spiritual legitimacy of the Prophet's family. Yazid's rule was seen as tyrannical and corrupt, and when he demanded allegiance from Hussein ibn Ali, the younger brother of Hassan and grandson of the Prophet, Yazid refused. The journey to Karbala. Hussein's refusal was not merely political, it was profoundly moral and spiritual. He could not, in conscience, endorse a leadership he saw as unjust. In response, letters from the people of Kufa, in present-day Iraq, poured in, promising support and urging him to lead them in opposition to Yazid. With trust in their call, Hussein, along with his family and a small group of companions, around 72 men, set out from Mecca toward Kufa. But Yazid's forces, under the command of Ubayd Allah ibn Ziyad, Ghanadin, intercepted Hussein's caravan and diverted them to the dry plains of Karbala, cutting off their access to water and surrounding them with a vastly superior army. Some accounts say up to 30,000 men. The day of Ashura, on Ashura, the 10th of Muharram, the standoff culminated in a heartbreaking massacre. Despite the odds, Hussein and his companions refused to surrender or pledge allegiance to Yazid. They knew what was coming, but their stand was one of principled resistance, not military victory. Hussein's camp was attacked mercilessly. One by one, his companions, half-brothers, nephews, and even his own sons were killed. His infant son Ali Asghar was struck with an arrow while in Hussein's arms. Despite thirst, exhaustion, and unbearable grief, Hussein stood firm until he, too, was killed, beheaded on the battlefield. The surviving women and children, including Zainab bint Ali and his ill son Ali ibn Hussein, were taken captive and marched to Damascus. Legacy and significance. Karbala was not just a tragedy, it was a turning point in Islamic history. While Yazid may have achieved a political victory, the moral victory belonged to Hussein. His death became a timeless symbol of resistance against tyranny, injustice, and oppression. For Shia Muslims, Hussein is not only a revered martyr, but a spiritual beacon. The mourning ceremonies during Muharram, especially on Ashura, serve as both a remembrance and a recommitment to the values Hussein died for: justice, truth, loyalty, and sacrifice. But the message of Karbala transcends sectarian lines. Across the Islamic world, and even beyond, Hussein is remembered as a figure who stood for truth over falsehood, dignity over humiliation, and faith over fear. A universal message, the story of Karbala, continues to inspire movements for justice across centuries and cultures. Poets, scholars, and revolutionaries have invoked Hussein's name as a rallying cry for the oppressed and a symbol of eternal resistance. As the poet Rabindranath Tagore once said, "In order to keep truth alive, it is necessary for it to be repeatedly sacrificed." The sacrifice of Hussein is for Islam, as the cross is for Christianity. In conclusion, Karbala is not merely a historical event, it is a spiritual legacy. It calls upon each generation to ask, what do we stand for? In the lonely desert of Karbala, under the scorching sun and the shadow of death, Hussein ibn Ali stood for the highest values of humanity. And that stand still resonates, nearly 1,400 years later.